5 signs he's cheating on you. So let's set the scene. You're sitting on the couch, scrolling through your phone, and you suddenly realize it's been weeks since he's really been there with you. You've caught yourself wondering, why is he more attached to his phone than to the time that you spent together? Or maybe he's picked up a mysterious new hobby that somehow doesn't involve you at all. Here's the hard truth. Cheating doesn't usually come with a neon sign right on top of his head, like saying, it's like, hey, I'm being unfaithful. It's not written on his forehead either. Instead, it's the subtle things. It creeps in through changes in behavior, words left unsaid, and little inconsistencies that leave you feeling very uneasy. Can't even really pinpoint what it is, but something is off. So if you got that pit in your stomach, that gut feeling you just can't shake off, it's time to listen. So today we want to unpack 5 signs he's cheating on you. These aren't just random quirks. They're patterns and behaviors that scream, I've got something to hide. So let's dive into this and get to the bottom of these patterns and habits. The first one, he becomes emotionally very distant all of a sudden. So let's start with the shift you can feel before you even see it. Emotional distancing is often the first sign of infidelity. Sometimes even before anything physically really happens. Maybe he stopped asking about your day or showing interest in your thoughts and feelings and what's really like happening like with your heart and in your life. Conversations that used to flow very easily now feel very stilted or, one-sided. And when you try to connect, it's like there's this invisible wall between the two of you. The psychology behind it is this. When someone's emotional focus shifts to someone else, guilt or conflict often causes them to withdraw. It's not that they necessarily mean to check out. It's that they don't know how to reconcile their feelings. But for you, that distance feels like a rejection. So if you're sensing that he's pulling away emotionally, don't ignore it. Emotional detachment is one of the earliest red flags that something is happening, and more often than not, in one way or another, there's infidelity involved too. Second point, he guards his phone like it's a secret diary, right? This one is quite a classic one for a reason. If his phone suddenly becomes like the most private object on earth, there's reason for it, especially if it has never been that way. Maybe he used to leave it lying around, but now it's glued to his hand, it's always in his pocket, and it's always face down on the table, so you never really see who's texting, and everything is kind of like a little bit more private. Maybe he's changed his passcode or suddenly started using do not disturb mode 24/7. Or worse, he gets defensive if you even glance at it with lines like, why do you need to look at my phone? Don't you trust me? Transparency is the cornerstone of trust in a relationship. While everyone deserves their privacy, super, super important, secrecy is a different story. If he's acting like the phone holds the secrets of the universe, it's worth questioning, why is it all of a sudden such a secret thing, right? People hiding something often overcompensate. The more likely it is that he's trying to keep something from you, whether those are texts or calls or, something else entirely.
Ladies, stop chasing men. Even when he pulls back or loses interest, or you feel like he's slipping away from you, what you do in that moment can make all the difference between him feeling like you just like all the other women he's ever met, or it can make him realize and feel you're so unique and special, and exactly the type of woman he wants something real with, something he wants to build with, causing him to chase you, to invest in you, and prove to you that he is the right man for you. There's this 12-word text message that you can send to a man that gets his attention almost immediately and makes him realize that it was a mistake to pull away from you in the first place. If you want to find out what that 12-word text message is, then I highly recommend you check out this brand new video that I created for you. I linked it in the description below. Just click the link, and now let's go back to the video.
Then we have the third one. He gets very defensive, like overly defensive. Here's how it usually plays out. You ask him a simple question like, where were you last night? And suddenly he's acting like you accused him of treason. You accused him of cheating. You accused him like of the worst things possible. He lashes out with lines like, why are you so paranoid? Are you crazy for even asking that? Don't you trust me? Like, why do you bring all of these things up? This, ladies, is classic projection. When someone is cheating, they're often consumed by guilt, and that guilt can manifest in very strong defensiveness. By flipping the script and making you feel like you're the problem, they deflect attention away from them and their own behaviors and put it all on you. A healthy partner doesn't blow up over simple, like reasonable questions. If his reactions feels like disproportionate, then it's really not about you so much. It's about what he's trying to hide. The fourth point, his routine drastically changes all of a sudden for no reason really. And these sudden changes in routines are often telltale signs. Maybe he's working late more often, heading to the gym at really odd hours, or picking up new hobbies that conveniently don't involve you whatsoever. While everyone's schedule shifts from time to time, cheating often brings more about like these drastic, unexplained changes and shifts in someone's day-to-day routines. He might start going out more, become vague about his plans, or gets kind of a little bit oddly defensive when you ask like what he's been up to. People in affairs often create new routines to carve out time for the other person. It's about balancing two lives without raising a lot of suspicion, right? But here's the thing, you're smart, and you've likely already picked up on these inconsistencies and these shifts and changes that feel a little bit odd, and that gut instinct that all of a sudden you have. If his behaviors feel off and he's not offering transparency whatsoever, it's a sign that something deeper might be going on here. The fifth point, he's accusing you of cheating all of a sudden. This one is almost laughable, but it's a classic move. He is the one cheating, but suddenly you're the one under scrutiny. Maybe he starts asking like, why were you last night? You're always texting someone. Who is it? This tactic, known as projection, is all about deflecting suspicion, deflecting away any type of attention from him towards you. And by accusing you, he redirects that attention very much away from his own behaviors and puts it all on you for his own defense. Psychologically, this is like guilt at work, really. He knows what he's doing, and he assumes you might be doing the exact same thing because he cannot believe things that he would do someone else would not do. It's very much a tactic to avoid any type of accountability, and it's as transparent as it is frustrating at the same time too. So yeah, these 5 signs are very obvious signs in terms of like him cheating on you. So if you're seeing these behaviors, don't brush them under the rug and find like all these excuses why it's different this time. Trust your gut. It's there for a reason. This is your most powerful tool of navigation, your internal navigation that you have, is your gut feeling. Just remember this, you deserve honesty, you deserve trust, you deserve respect in your relationship. If he's not giving you that, it's time to have that tough conversation, to get more clarity what's really going on here, and like tell him what you need. And remember, you deserve to be with someone who values you and who wants to be with you and doesn't play these games and like this manipulation here and this hot and cold and this lying and the infidelity and everything else. Make sure you stay on track, you trust your gut. And now I want to ask you, have you experienced these type of behaviors and then later on found out that the infidelity was actually at play as you've already seen it, and you kind of didn't really want to see the signs, you didn't really want to pay attention to those? Then you've got to ask yourself, like, why did I choose to look away from those? Was there a reason? Like, have I actually like thought about this and like brush it off? Did I really try to like dive a little bit deeper with this and like listen to that instinct that I had? And now when I see these moments again, these signs, these changes in behaviors and patterns, can I now not deviate away from reality? I can trust my instinct and I can look deeper and see like, okay, what's really going on over here? And if none of it changes, not allowing that to be brushed off as like my insecurities, but actually like, it doesn't matter if it's my insecurities at some point. If I feel these things and I don't feel safe and I don't feel valued and I don't feel there's trust and transparency in our relationship, then you just got to ask yourself, is that the type of relationship that you want?